Hey, painting friends, this is Pamela Gropey Art, and I'm going to share with you how I mix up the colors of the paints in the paint set that I featured recently that I linked to on Amazon, but you could also buy the colors separately. I was trying to give you something that was budget friendly but super high quality. The paints will last, they have a lot of pigment, and the colors stay color fast for years and years and years. So anyways, this is just an example. This is the ultramarine blue, and then I've mixed it. I have the colors written down here along the bottom that I mix with it. So let me point you down to this and we'll talk about it a little bit more. How I do it for each color. So this is the ultramarine blue, and you'll notice down here at the bottom I have the name. This is ultra blue, daffodil yellow, French blue, classic green, etc. I don't have all the colors on here because I didn't have enough lines, and I haven't finished going across with all the mixes with ultramarine blue. But this is the main color I started with, and then I mixed. This row is the ultramarine blue mixed with varying amounts of white. I start with a little bit mixed in here, and I add more white, more white, more white, just to see the range in that one color. Here is where I added the daffodil yellow to the ultramarine blue, and then I added more yellow, added more yellow, added more yellow, added more yellow, and then I decided to go with adding a little bit of white just to see where that would take it. And then on this one, this is the French blue, and here I added, this is mixed with the ultramarine blue, then I added more French blue, more French blue, more French blue. Now you notice I'm not getting a lot of color change with these three. So then I went ahead and decided to add white here to see where it would take it and what kind of blue I would get. Now it's just toned it down a little bit from this one, but they're very close. And then here's with classic green, mixed the ultra blue with the classic green, added more classic green, more classic green, more classic green. Now you notice I'm not getting a lot of color change here. So I went ahead and added white here to see where it would take me. And it takes me down to a really pretty sage green. And then here I mixed it with thicket. So I added more thicket, more thicket. Again, not a lot of color change here. So I just went ahead and started way up here with the white, and then added more white and see where it took me. Okay, pure orange. Now, of course, orange and blue are opposite the color wheel, so you're going to get a very dull color. But I found it very interesting as I added more orange, it turned brown and more of a rusty color. And even these two didn't have a big color change between the two. So I went ahead and added white here and more white and more white. You see, it went to a kind of a terracotta, which I found very interesting. This one was cardinal red. Mixed it with the ultra blue, more red, more red, more red. Here's where I added white. Usually I put a W next to it. I can just tell from looking at it. But that's how I knew when I started adding white for sure. So I got that far with the ultra blue. Let me see, what other color did I work with? Okay, this was with the lavender. So I did the same way. I kind of did the same colors across the board. Daffodil, French blue, ultra blue, classic, green, thicket, pure orange, cardinal red mixed with the lavender, medium gray. This ended up being such interesting orchid colors here. And then this was the apple red. And I could have gone on and mixed with more of the colors that are in the selection, like there's lime green, etc. And I would just start another page to continue on. Or if you're looking for a particular green or whatever, you can just start mixing that green with different colors before you start a painting. You don't have to. I like having the color charts because I can pick it up quickly, take a look at maybe which direction I want to go in my painting, and then I'll know how to head there. without mixing too many different colors. Okay, so to give you an idea of how I do this, I'm going on with the Ultramarine Blue, or actually, what is it called? It was called Brilliant Ultramarine, that comes in the set that I recommended for beginners. And here's the medium gray, and we're going to do this section. And you can brush mix, and many times I do, but I'm going to do some palette knife mixing. So I have a little bit of the Ultramarine Blue and then some of the medium gray, and I will mix that thoroughly right here on the palette. And sometimes it takes a bit of working to get it all blended well, so you have whatever color it's going to make. Now, I wouldn't say it was a true half and half mix, but it was pretty close. So I've got it mixed well, and I have my brush, and I'm going to just work it in there, and then I'm going to paint it on here to see what color I get from mixing those two. I will wipe out my brush. I'm not fully cleaning it. You can fully clean it if you want, and I'm going to get some more of the gray. That was probably half again more. You can do in smaller increments of adding the color just to see how it works. But I aim to just see how it's going to turn out, if it's a color that I want to use in my next painting or color scheme. So then I get my brush in there, and then I load it onto a square. And then I continue on. I got a little bit of gray, and I can see where that's heading. And it's really rather a dull color, but that's okay. It may be something I could use as a shadow or behind something to shade with. Or maybe there's something that needs to be this dull gray-blue. Okay, wiped out my brush again. Picking that up. And you notice, as in some of the other colors, there's not a true color change that's very stark. So then I do, if that's the case, where I don't see something that's dramatically different, I start adding the white. I'm going to add a touch of white over here. I'm just going to do a portion of the gray with the white. Really mix it in there so you see which direction you're going. Just scrape it up, mix it, blend, blend, blend. I'm going to set this down. I will rinse out my brush to make sure I get all of that other color out. Dried it off on my towel, and then I'm going to go in and see what color I've gotten. And this is where I would put the W on there, just so I know. I mean, I pretty much can tell, but if you have a hard time, really pick it up. Now I have a little bit more white. Just mix it in right here just to see how it plays out. Again, washed and dried my brush and apply that color. Oh, did I get a little strand or something? Okay, little strand still in there. Okay. Now if you want to do the white one more time or two more times to really bring it down, or bring it out to a much lighter color. Here's where I made brush mix. I'd pick up some white that I already had some on my brush, some of the blue, and just see, might pick up a little bit more blue. And that's how I brush mix. Just mix it together and then pull it on there. And you can see it's becoming a really icy blue. And that, this color would probably be great as a shading color for in some daisies, the shadow area, or like some petals that would be pushed to the back, and give that indication. So that is like an icy gray blue. And of course, as you add more white, it would just get lighter. So that my friends, is how I color mix with whatever colors I'm using on my palette. Like I said before, now in this set, I told you there was not like burnt umber, and another color that's not in this set that I would recommend purchasing is yellow ochre. I'm pretty sure yellow ochre is not in it, but I'd have to double check that. But yellow ochre and burnt umber are two basics that you probably will want in your painting arsenal. So well, I hope you found this helpful on how you can mix colors with that basic set that I recommended. All right, I will see you in the next video. Bye.